What is up, guys and girls? My name is WeddyH. Today I'm going to be talking to you about possible leaks for Call of Duty Black Ops 3's Der Eisendrache that is going to be released on February the 2nd for PlayStation 4. Now, the same person who posted these leaks posted the same leaks for Black Ops 3 Zombies way before the game was released, and turns out that half of the information he said was actually true, and the ones that weren't true he stated will be returning as DLC. So this is by no means confirmed, but use it as sort of a bit of inspiration. If you don't like spoilers, I suggest you click off this video now, but I hope you enjoyed. I've got lots of bits of information that he's, given us here, and we're going to read it off now, so let's get straight into this. Now, I'll be honest, Zombies information is incredibly hard to obtain due to completely different teams working on the Zombies DLC. This team is unbelievably secretive and hardly any information leaves the team. However, I have a few bits of information that may be potentially useful. Once again, with all this information, it may make it into the game or it may not. Some of these points will be similar or exactly the same to the ones made in previous months, as they did not make it into the final game on the disc, but could as DLC. So basically what he's saying is, I don't know if he's referring to the leaks that he made previously, but there was lots of different, hints that he gave us that he's saying didn't necessarily make it into the game, initially, but this is very likely to come as DLC. And there's a very exciting piece of DLC information that I'll be catching up on in a bit. But first, let's get into what he's talked about, or what he said about Der Eisendrache itself. So he says this: Der Eisendrache. One of the Easter eggs / objectives of this map will be to connect the lightning conductors to bring back to life a Frankenstein-like creature. Now, I don't know if you watched my video a while back when the trailer was initially released. I did an analysis video, and in this I stated about the electrical pylons that I thought that we would have to link these together. We would have to go around like the Origins generator, turn them all on to power a main core. Now, whether this main core is like a cage for Frankenstein, it releases his soul, or it opens up a cage, we don't quite know yet. But it's interesting because initially people were also stating that they thought that this Frankenstein was going to be the boss zombie, the enemy. Maybe this guy is going to be helping us a bit like the giant out of Buried. We're going to be talking about that just in a second. So let's say what he's also said about this creature. Now, he says this creature will be similar to the giant from Buried, as I just stated, or the civil protector from Shadows of Evil that will assist you in killing zombies and will help with activating the Pack-a-Punch. Now, when you look at it like Buried, the giant was so useful. There's so many different things that he would allow you to do, whether it be change power-ups, get the mystery box, break down barriers, even just killing zombies. There's so many different things that he could do for you, which made it so impressive. Now, thinking about Buried particularly, that map doesn't have a boss, although Jimmy Z's team did make that zombie map. It didn't have a boss, so maybe will this Frankenstein be replacing the boss, or will he have a bit of good and bad on him? Maybe, after a certain time he turns bad, or you have to keep feeding him food, and if you don't keep feeding him food, then he's going to be mad at you, he's going to come after you, something like that. But I'm hoping he's just not going to be a troll boss like George Romero, or really annoying like the Magua, but we'll have to wait and see. What he also says is, I have no background story as to why this creature exists, but I can suggest that it would have something to do with the large amounts of element 115 under the castle and in the surrounding villages. Now, evidently so in the trailer, there is a lot of villages around. Whether we can access them, I don't quite have an idea, but he says that there's element 115 under the castle, which is also very interesting. You think to something like Origins, where you're constantly going under the ground. Now, these tunnels that you go underground in Origins have been dug out. The clay, it's called blue clay, it's incredibly easy to dig up and carve and make tunnels out of, but there's a load of element 115 under there. Will we be having access to sort of an underground tunnel feature inside the castle? I just imagined there being a maze under the castle. I know it seems very unlikely, but I think something like that, a maze of tunnels under the castle, that would just be so insane, but we'll have to wait and see. But he's also stated here, the wonder weapon equals the flamethrower. Now, I thought about this quite logically. It does make sense. The map is called the Iron Dragon. Will we get a dragon-shaped flamethrower? Kind of like Mob of the Dead, you could look at that as sort of a dragon creature and, something that's similarly shaped, but it shoots out fire would make sense. It's a dragon. It makes sense that it would shoot fire. Whether it will be as OP as the one in World at War, I have no idea, but the whole idea of a flamethrower is really, really, exciting. I think it would be great to have something like that back in the game, but it would just be interesting to see how they utilize it. Now, this is the last point that he's made so far on DLC that could be inside of Black Ops 3 Zombies, and he says the Raygun Mark III is also still happening and it will be added in future DLC, likely Map Pack 2 or 3. Now, I stated this way before the game came out. I said that the Raygun Mark III was going to be coming into the game. I think this was the same guy who also mentioned it was going to be coming into the game, but he said here it's obviously not in the game at the moment, so it's very likely that it will be in Map Pack 2 or 3. Now, if we think about Call of Duty Black Ops 2, the Raygun Mark II was only added on DLC 3, which was buried. So as soon as the Raygun Mark II was added into the game, that was a completely game-changing gun. There was so many, and it wasn't even a wonder weapon. It was just like a normal ray gun. Up to 3 players could have this ray gun. It was completely game-changing every time. Setting up a map, it was so much easier. So it's likely that if they are going to be adding something like this, it will be towards the end of the game. I really can't see them starting off by jumping straight away, giving us a Raygun Mark III. It would be cool though, it would be cool. So that's what he's given us so far in terms of the information. Possible leaks, by no means confirmed, so, take this into account. Look at it. Do you think it seems legit? I think generally it does seem like a very good possibility that a lot of these could be inside the game. So thank you very much for watching. I have been your daily host, and make sure to smack that like button if you enjoyed, and subscribe here for the latest Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Zombies news and information. Make sure you guys have a fantastic day, and I will of course see you guys next time. Goodbye.